can you model dividing a fraction by a fraction? Think about this question during the lesson. Simon buys 1/2 yard of material. He uses 1/6 yard of the material to make a foot bag. How many foot bags can Simon make? Find 1/2 divided by 1/6. How is the expression 1/2 divided by 1/6 related to this problem? Simon is dividing 1/2 yard of material into 1/6 yard pieces, so you use division to solve the problem. Step 1. Draw an area model to show the dividend, 1/2.
You can use an area model to show division.
What does the entire rectangle represent? Why is 1/2 yard shaded in the area model? The entire rectangle represents 1 whole yard of material. 1/2 yard is shaded in the area model to represent the 1/2 yard of material Simon buys. You will be dividing 1/2 by 1/6, so you start with a model that shows 1/2. Think, how many 1/6 are in 1/2? Step 2. Divide the same area model into 1/6 to show the divisor. Why is the entire area model divided into 1/6? You need to know how many 1/6 are in the whole and then find how many 1/6 are in 1/2 of the whole. How many 1/6 are in 1/2?
Select your answer.
There are 3 1/6 in 1/2, so 1/2 divided by 1/6 equals 3. Simon can make 3 foot bags. Now you know how you can model dividing a fraction by a fraction.
Use the number line below to represent 1/6 times 3 equals 1/2. Then write an equivalent division sentence.
We are going to represent 6 times 3 is equal to 1/2 in our number line. So first, I'm going to rewrite the division sentence. I'm going to just change this. Now we have 1/2 divided by 1/6 is equal to 3. So now I'm going to show this division happening on the number line. So we're first going to take the 1/2 and we are going to show 1/2 on our number line. I'll just continue to use red. So from 0 to 1, halfway would be 1/2. So we're representing the 1/2. Now we have to divide excuse me, our whole into 6 parts. Let me use a different color. Now I'm going to divide that up into 6 parts. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the whole thing. So we're dividing the half into 1/6. So we're going to see how many 1/6 we can get out of 1/2. So we have, I'm just going to choose a different color. We have 1/6, 1/6, 1/6. And we're only circling on this side of the half because we're dividing only the half into 1/6 parts, not the whole. So our answer again is 3, and our number line represents that.
How much of a 3/4 cup serving is in 2/3 cup of yogurt?
Step 1, find 2/3 of 3/4. Show 2/3 and 3/4. So in our diagram, on the top is 2/3, the bottom shows 3/4. Step 2, multiply the denominators to find a common unit of twelfths to compare 2/3 and 3/4. So we're finding the least common denominator. So they've changed 2/3 to 8/12 and 3/4 to 9/12. So they both have the same denominator now. 2/3 is divided into 8 equal parts, while 3/4 is divided into 9 equal parts. The ratio of the two quantities is 8/9, so 2/3 cup is 8/9 of a 3/4 cup. And so 8/9 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the 9 parts. So that's where the 8/9 comes from.
Find 1/4 divided by 3/8. Draw an area model.
I will start by drawing a rectangle, and then I'll divide it into 2. So I have 2 equal looking bars, kind of. I messed up a little in the front. Anyway, so the top one will represent our 1/4. The bottom bar will represent our 3/8. So I'm going to separate this into fourths, and then the bottom will be separated into eighths. Okay, I'm going to shade them in. So 1/4, shade in 1/4, and for 3/8, I'm going to shade in 3 out of 8 parts. And so now we're going to look at that model, and the 1/4 and the 3/8 do not have the same denominator, but we want to make sure they do. So a least common denominator of 4 and 8 would be 8 actually. So I can do, let me show you how it would be done. You multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. So now we have 2/8, and then 3/8 happens to already have an 8 as the denominator, so we keep that the same. So now we have 2/8. I'm going to just separate the top bar into 8 parts like the bottom bar. And now we have the 2/8 represented by the shaded green portion. So now it's going to, they want us to say what is the quotient of 1/4 and 3/8, and we have 8 out of 12 parts, or 2/3, which is up here, but let me show you that mathematically. 1/4 divided by 3/8. We're going to do keep, change, reciprocal. So always remember that with dividing fractions, keep, change, reciprocal. So that means that you keep the first fraction, you change division to multiplication, and then you find the reciprocal of the second fraction. And then you would multiply straight across. I'm going to show you how to simplify first. So I'm going to look diagonally. 8 and 4 can actually be simplified before we multiply. If you divide 4 by 4 and 8 by 4. So 4 divided by 4 gives you 1, and then 8 divided by 4 gives you 2. So now you have 1 times 2 and 1 times 3. So we get 2/3, and that's our final answer. So now we have 2/3 as our quotient for 1/4 divided by 3/8.
Andrew has 3/4 gallon of orange juice. He wants to pour it into 1/6 gallon containers. How many containers can Andrew fill?
Find 3/4 of 1/6 to divide by a fraction and rewrite the problem as a multiplication problem using the reciprocal of the divisor. So I showed you that in the previous example. So they're showing you again here. They did not simplify first, so that's why it's 18/4. And then 4.5 will be your simplified version of 18/4. So Andrew can fill 4.5 containers.
How wide is a rectangular strip of land with a length of 3/4 mile and an area of 1/2 square mile? Use the area formula. Area equals length times width.
All right, so we have length times width is equal to our area. And so we know that we don't know the width, so we have to divide 1/2 and 3/4. So we're going to do keep, change, reciprocal, as I mentioned before. Keep, change, reciprocal. So 1/2 stays the same. Division turns to multiplication. 3/4 turns to 4/3. Now we multiply straight across, and you get 4, and 2 times 3 is 6. And then you simplify the 4/6 divided by 2, and then that's equal to 4. And then we actually can divide it again by 2, and we get 1/2. And that would be our simplest version.